A very good morning to all of you. Let me welcome you all for the social class. Today we are going to see History chapter 8, Civilizing the Native, Educating the Nation. In this chapter we are going to see how the British changed our education system. That is what we are going to see, and some of them opposed the Western learning, and some recommended Indian literature and learning. Some of them recommended. That is what we are going to see, and what are the views of education system, what are the views of different people about our education system. That is what we are going to see in this chapter. Let's move on to the first topic. Why did the British bring about changes in Indian system? Why the British wanted Indian education system to be changed? எதுக்காக சேஞ்ச் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு நினைக்கிறாங்க? That is what we are going to see. First, before that, we will just have a glance when the British entered the India. That is what we are going to see. First point, when the British gained political power in India, they just wanted to get all the control of all the territorial conquest, every places, and also they wanted to have a control on our Indian revenue. Nammaloda revenue malayum they wanted to have a control. And after that, when they established themselves very popular, after that they started to change. They wanted to change the culture and traditions of India. Nam India oda culture yum tradition yum they wanted to change and make people as like avangaloda country la eppadi irupangalo, like that they wanted to change our culture and tradition followed by Indians. Okay, they felt Indian had to be civilized and educated so that they would be better. Adhaadu they wanted everyone to get, before that not everyone will study. Okay, not everyone will go for an education, and they wanted to make everyone study, and also they wanted to make civilized people. They wanted them to be civilized people. Indians வந்து நல்ல civilized ஆவும், they wanted them to be educated so that they would be better. இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் நல்ல பெட்டரா இருப்பாங்க அப்படின்றதுக்காக they wanted to implement education system. Okay, they wanted to bring some changes in education system. So the English East India Company wielded power in our Indian territory from எவ்வளோ years to எவ்வளோ years அப்படின்னா Indian East India Company. Okay, English East India Company வந்துட்டு எவ்வளோ நாள் அவங்களோட பவர் வச்சிருந்தாங்க அப்படின்னா from 1612 to 1858 வரைக்கும். ஓகேவா? Because first time English East India Company came into India in 1612. After that they had their power till 1858 வரைக்கும். They had their control over India. After that, India came under the direct rule of British monarchs from 1858 to 1947, because we got independence in 1947. Till that we were under the control of British king. Okay, British monarch அப்படின்னா பிரிட்டிஷோட அவங்களோட வம்சாவளியில தான் we were under the control of them. Then we gained independence in 1847, and also I already told you when they introduced new ideas in the field of education, many Indians also opposed, and also the British people itself opposed their views on education system. Some people wanted entirely Western education system in India, and some people wanted the Indian literature and society and culture. They wanted us to follow our own literature and culture. They wanted us to follow. Okay, this is what we are going to see. The next topic, which were the two rival schools of thought propagating education for Indians under colonial rule? Okay, I have already told you, some people recommended Indian literature and learning, and some of them recommended Western learning through English as a medium of education. Okay, English as a medium vachu some people want Western learning, some people want our Indian culture to be followed. Adeyum follow pannom, Indian literature vandu we have to recommend. Likewise, some people were recommending that. Okay, that is what I have mentioned you in the first point. Some advocated the spread of Indian literature and learning, while others approved promotion of Western learning through English medium அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. So there are two varieties of people in this topic. We are going to see Orientalism and opposition to Orientalism, which is called Anglicist. These both of them we are going to see. In that we have three important characters. In Orientalism we have who are they? Warren Hastings, அப்புறம் Jones, William Jones and Thomas Colebrook அப்படின்ற ஒரு person, and also Duncan. Okay, these three people we are going to see in this Orientalism. And also in opposition to Orientalism, Anglicist. In Anglicist we are going to see about Mill and Maclay. Okay, Mill and Maclay, Thomas Babington Maclay and William Mill. Okay, these two categories of people we are going to see. What is Orientalism? The people who supports Indian literature and society to be followed, Indian literature and learning to be followed. And the other people who opposition to Orientalism is nothing but Anglicist. They are called Anglicist. These people recommend Western learning through English medium. Okay, they wanted Western learning through English medium. After that, so some of them came to at that time the Governor General of India was Warren Hastings. Okay, Warren Hastings came to an idea that we wanted to encourage Indian literature and learning. We wanted to make sure Indian literature and make sure to promote Indian literature and learning அப்படினு சொல்லிட்டு he has set up Madarsa in Calcutta. See, Madarsa in Calcutta in 1781. In 1781, Warren Hastings, அந்த டைமில் இருந்த Governor General of Bengal, he is the Governor General of Bengal at that time. He has set up Madarsa in Calcutta in 1781. Madarsa is nothing but முன்னாலாம் ஸ்கூலுக்கு பதிலாக ஸ்கூல்ஸ் காலேஜ் நம்ம இந்த எஜுகேஷன் சிஸ்டமை ப்ரொவைட் பண்ணுற ஒரு பிளேஸ், அதுதான் மதர்சா அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. இட் இஸ் அன் அரபிக் வேர்ட். ஓகே, இட் இஸ் அன் அரபிக் வேர்ட் டு எக்ஸ்பிரஸ் டு it has a meaning of schools and colleges madri. It is also a place where education is given. Okay, that is called madarsa. He has set up a madarsa in Calcutta. Okay, it is a place of learning, any type of school or colleges adha irkalam. Madarsa appadina it is an Arabic word. Okay, it is set up to promote the study of Arabic, Persian and Islamic law. இவங்களோட Arabic, Persian and Islamic laws வந்துட்டு promote பண்றதுக்காக he has set up a madarsa in Calcutta in 1781. I hope you all understand this. So what are the two categories were separated during this when they wanted to make changes in education system? Two categories were segregated. One is they wanted Indian literature and learning to be followed, and the other is they wanted Western learning through English medium. Okay, so Warren Hastings and the time the Governor General of India has set up Madarsa in Calcutta in 1781. Okay, he has set up a Madarsa in Calcutta in 1781 Madarsa இது பண்ணாங்க to promote the study of Arabic, Persian and Islamic laws வந்துட்டு promote பண்றதுக்காக. And then in 1791 likewise a same Jonathan Duncan அப்படின்ற person வந்து he has established Sanskrit College at Benares. Okay, Sanskrit College at Benares for the study of Hindu law and philosophy. Arabic, Persian and Islamic laws பத்தி படிக்கிறதுக்காக Warren Hastings has set up Madarsa in Calcutta in 1781. And in 1791, 10 years after a decade, Jonathan Duncan has established Sanskrit College at Benares. Okay, he has established Sanskrit College at Benares for the study of Hindu law and philosophy. Hindu law and philosophy oda study kaga he has established Sanskrit College at Benares. Okay, Benares la Sanskrit College வந்து யார் establish பண்ணாங்க? Jonathan Duncan in 1791. Okay, I hope you all understand this. Now we will just move on to the Orientalism. Okay, first Orientalism, as I have already told you, Orientalism la we have three main people, William Jones and Henry Thomas Colebrook and Nathaniel Halhand அப்படின்ற three people. Halhand, okay, we'll see those people in the next slide. First we are going to see about William Jones. Okay, he is the main first. Okay, in 1783 he was appointed as a junior judge to work in Supreme Court, which is set up by English East India Company. English East India Company from 1612 itself they have wielded power in India. Yeah. So after that, in 1783, William Jones was appointed as a junior judge for Supreme Court. Okay, so Supreme Court, which is set up by East India Company. East India Company set up panna or Supreme Court. Before Supreme Court was set up in Calcutta only. Okay, va? Calcutta only. Now only it is in Delhi. Okay, so Supreme Court at that time it was because our India's capital was Calcutta at that time. Okay. Then Supreme Court set up by East India Company. And the Supreme Court 1783 la William Jones was appointed as the junior judge. Okay. In addition to being a lawyer, he is also a lawyer and also he is a linguist. Linguist அப்படினா what is the meaning of linguist ma? Linguist is nothing but he is familiar with many languages. அதாவது நிறைய languages அவங்களுக்கு தெரியும். ஓகேவா? He is familiar with many languages. Okay. Then he also knew many languages like Greek, Latin, French, English, Arabic and Persian. He is familiar with many languages. So only he is called linguist அப்படினு சொல்றோம். And he has also deep passion to learn many languages and he have spent many time with pandits to learn Sanskrit கத்துக்கணும், அதோட grammar, poetry, that all he wanted to know. So he stay with pandits and அதாவது teachers. Okay, he stay with teachers and he get all these things, he study all these things, he learn everything. Okay, about William Jones we have seen. And next is he also started studying Indian books on laws because he loves Indian literature and learning. So he started studying Indian laws, philosophy, religion, politics, morality, arithmetic and medicine and other sciences. He started learning everything and also he discovered that his interests were shared by அதாவது அதுக்கப்புறம் he came to know that many British officials in Calcutta also like him only. இவங்கள மாதிரி தான் they were interested in Indian literature அப்படின்னு சொல்லி he came to know two people. Who are they? Englishmen, like I have already told you, Henry Thomas Colebrooke and Nathaniel Halhand. These two people along with William Jones, these three were interested in Indian literature and learning. Okay, so they were also busy discovering the ancient Indian heritage, நம்மளோட our culture, tradition, everything. They wanted to analyze everything and they started mastering in Indian languages and translating. அவங்க வந்துட்டு Sanskrit, Persian languagesல எழுதியிருக்க நம்மளோட Indian literatures எல்லாத்தையுமே they have translated in English. They started because they are studying in Sanskrit, Persian languages and they started translating it in English. And these three people they wanted to encourage Oriental studies because they wanted Indian literature and they wanted Indians to continue their learning and literature. நம்மளோட culture, நம்மளோட tradition, நம்மளோட learning வந்து they wanted to preserve. They wanted our literature and culture to be saved and நம்ம save பண்ணோம். So they came together and founded Asiatic Society of Bengal. See, these three people, William Jones, Thomas Colebrooke and Nathaniel Halhand, these three people they jointly founded Asiatic Society of Bengal அப்படின்றத ஒன்று வந்து they started for why அப்படின்னா they started collecting our old manuscripts. அதாவது manuscripts is nothing but நம்மளோட ஏதாவது அந்த ஓலைச்சுவடிகள் அதெல்லாம் வந்து they have written in some other languages இல்லையா. They collected all these things and understood their meanings and they have translated that in English. They don't want our manuscripts to lost. அது வந்து அப்படியே அழிஞ்சு போயிடக்கூடாது அப்படின்றதுக்காக they wanted to give nurture to that to our literature. So they started collecting all our old manuscripts from India and understood their meaning, and they started translating it in English. And the translate பண்ண எல்லா manuscripts-ஐயுமே and they've published their findings by starting a journal called Asiatic Researches. They have published all these things. என்னெல்லாம் அவங்க வந்து translate பண்ணாங்களோ everything was published in Asiatic Researches அப்படின்ற ஒரு ஜேர்னலில் they have published all these things. So these three people Oriental studies-ஐ encourage பண்ணுறதுக்கு the three people were five people we have seen. Five people. One is Warren Hastings, who has started Madrasa in Calcutta in I think Madrasa in Calcutta in 1781, and Jonathan Duncan who has started Sanskrit College at Banaras in 1791, and these three people, Jones, Colebrook, Halhan, these three people came together and started Asiatic Society of Bengal. They have started this organization, and they started collecting all our old manuscripts and they translated it in English, and they have published in a journal called Asiatic Researches. Okay, see, look at this picture. This is Asiatic Researches logo, and this is the Asiatic Society of Bengal building. Okay, without any I hope you all understand what is Orientalism. Okay, now we are going to see who are Orientalists and what is Orientalism and what they need. Adha we are going to see this. Okay, we have seen about Orientalism. That is what we are going to see. People such as Jones, Duncan, Hastings, and also Halhan, Colebrook, these people who had scholarly knowledge of the languages and cultures of Asia were known as Orientalists. Adhavadhu நம்ம ஏஷியாவோட cultures and languageல they were familiar with. They have the knowledge of our languages and cultures of Asia. So those people are called Orientalist அப்படினு சொல்லுவோம். Those people are called Orientalist. Then what is Orientalism? The study of these societies, culture, languages and people of Eastern Asia by Western scholars. They were called Western scholars. They have studied Eastern Asia oda culture, society, languages and peoples of Eastern Asia avanga kattukitaanga. Avanga வந்து they have learned everything. That study is called Orientalism. Can you all understand? So what is Orientalist I have told you, and what is Orientalism we have seen. These Orientalist people need our Indian scholars to teach them vernacular language and literature. நம்மளோட language இப்போ now we are in Tamil Nadu. Ours vernacular language, our local language is Tamil. Okay, so that is called vernacular is nothing but Tamil language which is familiar in that place. Okay, that is called vernacular languages. They wanted us to teach them our vernacular languages and literature. They wanted our Indian literature and learning. Okay, அவங்களுக்கு அது கத்துக்கணும்ன்ற ஆசை அதிகமா இருக்கு. Okay, they were called Orientalist. Okay, let's move on to the next type of people, next category. Okay, who are they? Opposition to Orientalism, who are called Anglicist. Okay, the people who supports Indian literature and learning is called Orientalism, and the people who opposes Orientalism is called Anglicist. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Opposition to Orientalism. See, I have already told you some of them were, though there was one group that was of the opinion that Indian culture and tradition should be promoted, there was also another group that of British officials who criticized the Orientalist vision of learning. They have criticized. Okay, there were many critics about Orientalistic. Okay, but there were many critics. Okay, they felt that it was totally wrong. மொத்தமா the Oriental way of learning is this is waste and it is very error. Okay, it is very wrong அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. ஓகேவா, on the part of British to spend so much effort in encouraging Arabic and Sanskrit language and literature வந்து கத்துக்கிறதுல it is of no use அப்படின்னு சொல்றாங்க. We need practical language, practical usage of practical education தான் எங்களுக்கு வேணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி some people were some people were opposing, okay, some people were opposing the oriental way of learning. Okay, சில பேர் வந்துட்டு அதே இந்தியன் கல்ச்சர் லிட்ரேச்சரை வச்சு வாட் இஸ் த யூஸ் ஆஃப் இட், we need practical education அப்படின்னு சொல்லி the western officials want இங்கிலீஷ் மீடியம் வந்து we wanted இங்கிலீஷ் மீடியம் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. ஓகேவா, we don't want Arabic and Sanskrit languages to be followed அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. and according to this group, அவங்களோட குரூப் படி the knowledge of East was full of errors and unscientific அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. there was nothing in this eastern, அதாவது நம்ம இந்தியாவில் உள்ள லிட்ரேச்சரும் கல்ச்சர் அண்ட் அவங்களோட ஸ்டடீஸ் எஜுகேஷன் இஸ் full of errors and unscientific அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. we need practical knowledge, it was non-serious and light-hearted அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. so the person who was the one main person two people opposes the orientalism oppose பண்ண two main people. one is James Mill. okay, James Mill is one of those who attacked the orientalist. okay, orientalistic oppose பண்ண one main person is James Mill. okay, let's move on to the next one about James Mill. we'll see about James Mill. so what are the things he has declared? He declared that British should not teach what the native Indians wanted and respected as to win a place in their heart. okay, they don't want to teach what they want. natives இந்தியன்ஸ்க்கு என்ன தேவையோ அதை வந்து அப்படியே கொடுக்கக்கூடாது, அவங்க கேட்குறத அப்படியே கொடுக்கக்கூடாது. the aim of education should be to teach what was useful and practical. எது யூஸ்ஃபுல் எது ப்ராக்டிக்கல், that should be taught in the education அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. that should be taught அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. and also James Mill said that Indians should be made understand the scientific and technical advances that the West what the western education is, western learning வந்து சொல்லி தராங்களோ அதோட advantages and scientific advances வந்துட்டு they should understand. he said learning poetry was not necessary. see நம்மளோட Sanskrit and Arabicsலாம் we have many poetries, literature, that only we have. but they wanted practical learning அதாவது சயின்ஸ் இந்த மாதிரி சயின்டிஃபிக்காக we need that kind of education. அதுதான் தேவை. அண்ட் நம்மளோட அந்த ட்ரேடு அதிலெல்லாம் they wanted to excel well in that positions also அப்படின்னு சொல்லி they have started they wanted western learning to be followed in India. okay, he said learning poetry was not necessary அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. in 1830s the attack on the orientalist increase ஆகிட்டே இருந்துச்சு. one of the most outspoken influential of that time was Thomas Babington Macaulay. I have already told you, one was James Mill and the other was Thomas Babington Macaulay. these two people were the main person who opposes the orientalistic. okay, orientalistic oppose பண்ண two main people யாரெல்லாம் அப்படின்னா James Mill and Babington Macaulay was the two outspoken person. அதாவது ரொம்ப ஒரு தைரியமாக they have opposed this orientalism அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. now we'll move on to Thomas Babington Macaulay. how the Thomas Babington Macaulay came into India? he came to India on June 1834 and took over as the president of General Committee of Public Instruction. he was the president of General Committee of Public Instruction. he was the head of that. okay, so he came to India and he started criticizing that. okay, what are the views of Macaulay? James Mill oda இதெல்லாமே we have seen, because he told that it was full of error. அதாவது ஈஸ்டர்ன் லேர்னிங், அதாவது our Indian learning is full of errors and it was of no use அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. we need practical and useful education அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. so what are the views of Macaulayயோட views என்னெல்லாம் அப்படின்னு that is what we are going to see. he said India was an uncivilized country அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. what is uncivilized? civilized அப்படின்னா என்ன? civilizedனா நாகரீகமான. okay, we need people to be that civilized people ஆக்கணும் அப்படின்றதுக்காக, because India was uncivilized அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. ஓகேவா, that is not correct? So he wants our people to be civilized. Okay, he felt that no branch of eastern knowledge could be compared to what England had produced. England produce பண்ற அளவுக்கு, அதாவது வாட் வெஸ்டர்ன் லேர்னிங் இங்கிலீஷ் பிரிட்டன் வந்துட்டு என்ன நாலேஜ் கொடுக்குறாங்களோ அதுக்கான ஒரு பர்சன் கூட ஈஸ்டர்ன் லேர்னிங் வில் நாட் கிவ் தெம் அப்படின்னு, ஈஸ்டர்ன் நாலேஜ் வில் நாட் கிவ் தெம் அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. அக்கார்டிங் டு மேக்லே, அ சிங்கிள் ஷெல்ஃப் ஆஃப் குட் European library was worth the whole native literature of India and Arabia. So what he's telling, he's saying that it is full of entirely Eastern Asia. Okay, Eastern Asia மொத்தமாக தான் they are telling, not only India, Eastern Asia ஓட knowledge எல்லாமே it's of no use அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. ஓகேவா? So what he is saying, ஒரு single shelf of good யூரோப்பியன் லைப்ரரி இஸ் ஈக்குவல் டு இஸ் நாட் ஒர்த், அதாவது அந்த ஒரு ஷெல்ஃப் லைப்ரரி, ஒரு ஷெல்ஃபில் இருக்கிற புக்ஸு வந்துட்டு தட் இஸ் எவ்வளோ ஒர்த் அப்படின்னா ஹோல் வேர்ல்டு, அதாவது ஹோல் நேட்டிவ் ஆஃப் இந்தியா அண்ட் அரேபியா, இந்தியாவும் அரேபியாவும் சேர்ந்து எவ்வளோ லிட்ரேச்சர் இருக்கோ அதுக்கு ஈக்குவல் அந்த ஒரு சிங்கிள் ஷெல்ஃப் தான் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி he is telling that. He urged the British government in India to stop wasting public money in promoting Oriental learning. For it was of no practical use எதுவுமே இல்லை அப்படின்றதுக்காக he don't want this Oriental learning to be continued அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. He need to teach, he want the English learning வந்து எவ்வளோ important, English medium is what is the importance of English medium that he has emphasized, and he started telling about that. Okay, then coming for after that, he has in 1835 Maclay வந்துட்டு மினிட் ஆன் இந்தியன் எஜுகேஷன் அப்படின்ற ஒரு இது வந்துட்டு எழுதியிருந்தாங்க. ஓகேவா? சி in 1835 he has written minute on see, note it down. In 1835 Maclay has presented minute on Indian education அப்படின்ற ஒன்றில் வந்துட்டு he has sent that. Okay, he has read what are the fundings, அதில் எதெல்லாம் தேவையில்லை. ஸோ ஹி டோன்ட் வாண்ட் ஓரியன்டல் லேர்னிங் டு பி கண்டினியூட். அதனால அந்த மினிட் ஆன் இந்தியன் எஜுகேஷனில் எதெல்லாம் சேஞ்ச் பண்ணணும், வெஸ்டர்ன் சப்ஜெக்ட்ஸில் சேஞ்ச் பண்ணணும், வாட் ஆர் த ஃபண்ட்ஸ் வி ஹாவ் டு சேஞ்ச், தட் ஹி ஹஸ் மென்ஷன் இன் தட். ஓகே, ஆஃப்டர் தட் இன் ஃபாலோயிங் ஹிஸ் அந்த மேக்லேயோட மினிட் ஆன் இந்தியன் எஜுகேஷனை ஃபாலோ பண்ணி in 1835 English Education Act வந்துட்டு they have introduced. Okay, English Education Act வந்துட்டு they have introduced in India. He felt that knowledge of English would not allow Indians to read some of the finest literature the world has produced. English வந்துட்டு வெறும் அந்த லிட்ரேச்சர் ரீட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு மட்டும் it won't be used. It will improve, it will make them aware and make the developments which are done in science and philosophy la, science la, what are the advanced developments we have done, that also they will be aware of that அப்படினு சொல்றாங்க. இங்கிலீஷ் லேர்னிங்னால வெஸ்டர்ன்ல என்னெல்லாம் டெவலப்மெண்ட்ஸ், see for example பிரிட்டிஷ்ல what are the developments they have made, அதை வந்து they have written in English, they have been only written in English இல்லையா? So that they will get to know, and we will do for our developments, we will do something for our developments. Okay, so teaching of English could thus be a way of civilizing people, changing their taste, values and culture. Following Maclay's view, the English Education Act of 1835 was introduced. Okay, English Education Act, why it was introduced? Because they wanted the Indians to change, to be civilized. They wanted our Indian people to be civilized, and they wanted us to change our taste, values and culture. Okay, so that they wanted us to be familiar in English language la, they wanted us to have a knowledge of English. Okay, so this is what English Education Act of 1835 is about. And what are the main features of English Education Act 1835? What are the main features? As you all know, English was made as the medium of education for higher education. ஹையர் எஜுகேஷனுக்கு மீடியம் ஆஃப் இன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ஷன், அதாவது இங்கிலீஷ் மீடியம்ஸ் நிறைய கொண்டு வந்தாங்க. அண்ட் ஆல்சோ அந்த ஓரியண்டல் இன்ஸ்டிடியூஷன்ஸ் லைக் கல்கட்டா மதர்சா தட் வி ஹவ் சீன் அண்ட் பெனாரஸ் சான்ஸ்கிரிட் காலேஜ் தட் வேர் ஸ்டாப்ஸ், அதை வந்து ஸ்டாப் பண்ணிட்டாங்க. அண்ட் இங்கிலீஷ் டெக்ஸ்ட் புக்ஸ் வேர் produced for schools. Okay, schools வந்து இங்கிலீஷ் டெக்ஸ்ட் புக்ஸும், அதாவது அடிஷ்னல் லாங்குவேஜை they have increased, they have produced English textbooks also. Okay, this were the main features of English Education Act 1835. Okay, who has from whose view, யாரோட வியூல இருந்து English Education Act was enacted, was introduced? தாமஸ் பேபிங்டன் மேக்லேயோட மினிட் ஆன் இந்தியன் எஜுகேஷன் which is given in your book page number 17. Okay, in your book page number 17 la second column la they have given you in 1835 Maclay presented the minute on Indian education அப்படின்ற ஒரு para they have started. In that they have given, okay, they have given in that what he have said அப்படின்னா, in which he advocated redirection of the fundings for traditional Indian education towards education in western subjects with English as the medium of instruction. Okay, நமக்கு ஆல்ரெடி இதுக்கு முன்னாடி அந்த ஓரியண்டல் லேர்னிங்க்கு என்னெல்லாம் ஃபண்ட்ஸ் ப்ரொவைட் பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தாங்க, that we have to change. Okay, change பண்ணிடணும், we have to change into English learning. Okay, western learningக்கு we have to convert. That is what he has told in the minute on Indian education la he has told. So with from that and the other, after that they have introduced English Education Act of 1835, and we have seen some of the features of English Education Act, which is nothing but higher education la they have included English as a medium of instruction, and also they have started English textbooks, adavadhu for as a second language they have started they have implemented English as a second language, and also promotion of oriental learning institutes and the oriental institutions. For example, Calcutta Madrasa in Calcutta and Banaras Sanskrit College was stopped on that time. Okay, 1835 la they have stopped all these things. Okay, now moving on to the next one, which is nothing before that we have to see who are Anglicist. Okay, Anglicist அப்படினா யாரு அப்படின்றது we have to know. Who were Anglicist? See, the adversaries of Orientalist, அதாவது who were opposite to Orientalist, such as James Mill and Maclay. James Mill and the other person is Maclay, who supported modern Western education for the natives of India with English as a medium of instruction, which is nothing. அதாவது என்னன்னா, இந்தியாவில் நம்ம நேட்டிவ்ஸ் ஆஃப் இந்தியாவுக்கு வெஸ்டர்ன் எஜுகேஷனை சப்போர்ட் பண்ணுறவங்க வந்துட்டு யாருன்னு சொல்லுவோம்? we call them as Anglicist. Okay, can you all understand? I hope you all understand what is Orientalism and Anglicist. We all understand. And who are the main people, those who came in the Orientalism we have seen, and also in who were the people opposition to Orientalism, Mill and Maclay. Those people also we have seen. Those people are called Anglicists. We call them as Anglicist. I hope you all understand these topics. Now moving on to the next one. Now moving on to the next one. How did the British introduce the so-called practical education in India? Chair, how did they introduce? Okay, practical education. This is what they have asked. So they have brought English Education Act 1835 they have brought in India la kondu vandachu. Okay, after that what happened அப்படினா, in 1854 the same minute on Indian education was circulated. Okay, அதை வந்துட்டு the court of in 1854 la அந்த minute after that நல்லா அந்த மினிட் ஆன் இந்தியன் எஜுகேஷன் வந்து ஃபுல்லாக இங்கிலீஷ் ஈஸ்ட் இந்தியா கம்பெனிக்கு எல்லாத்துக்குமே போய் எவ்ரிபடி who are the heads of that, they all came to understand the practical benefits of western educationல என்னெல்லாம் practical benefits இருக்கு அப்படின்றது they came to know. After that in 1854ல எல்லா directors of East India Company everyone லண்டன்ல எல்லாரும் சேர்ந்து they have started and the court of directors that was headed by Charles Wood. Okay va, he was the president of board of control of the company, English East India Company oda president of board of control. Okay, board and the board oda president vandu Charles Wood was the president. Okay, he has sent an educational dispatch to the Governor General of India. அந்த டைமில் கவர்னர் ஜெனரல் ஆஃப் இந்தியா வாஸ் லார்ட் டல்ஹவுசி. ஓகே, லார்ட் டல்ஹவுசி in 1854 லார்ட் டல்ஹவுசி was the governor general of India. At that time he has sent that the Charles Wood வந்துட்டு ஒரு educational dispatch வந்துட்டு சென்ட் பண்ணாங்க. Dispatch is nothing but ஒரு லெட்டர் மாதிரி, ஒரு சர்க்குலர் மாதிரி he has sent to the who's that at that time Governor General of India Lord Dalhousie வந்துட்டு he has sent that educational dispatch to the to him. அவங்களுக்கு அந்த இதை அனுப்பியிருந்தாங்க. that was called, so that dispatch was called Wood's dispatch அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். that dispatch was called Wood's dispatch அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். it has some of the benefits. okay, it has some of the benefits. what are the benefits of Wood's dispatch? That is what we are going to see. What are the advantages of Wood's dispatch for the British in India? Wood's dispatch nala what will be the advantages of Wood's dispatch? British ku India la enalla advantages varum. See, when they came to know, when they started learning English, what will they do? They will start learning, they will learn the British oda அவங்களோட லிட்ரேச்சரும் அவங்களோடது என்ன அப்படின்றத they came to know, they will come to know இல்லையா. ஸோ what are the advantages for the British in India? இந்தியாவில் பிரிட்டிஷ்க்கு என்னெல்லாம் அட்வான்டேஜஸ் வரும் வுட்ஸ் டிஸ்பேட்ச்னால அப்படின்றது தான். ஓகேவா, வுட்ஸ் டிஸ்பேட்ச்னா விச் இஸ் நத்திங் பட் அந்த ப்ராக்டிக்கல் எஜுகேஷனை வந்து we have to implement. that is what they have told. okay what is the economic benefit of, okay, see, Wood's dispatchனால பிரிட்டிஷ்க்கு என்னெல்லாம் what are the advantage that we are going to see. See, look at this. Wood's dispatch stated that learning in English will be an advantage to the Indians for the trade and commerce. அதாவது ட்ரேடுக்கும் காமர்ஸ், அதாவது ட்ரேடுக்கு வந்துட்டு இங்கிலீஷ் will be very much useful அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. The British also had an ulterior motive to promote English language and English culture. okay, English language and culture-ஐயும் they can promote it. okay, because their language இல்லையா, அவங்களோட language அவங்களோட culture, so they can promote it easily in India. Introducing them to European ways of life would change their taste and desire and create British goods for and create a demand for British goods among the Indians. அதாவது when they came to, அவங்க கொஞ்சமாக அவங்களோட கல்ச்சர், ட்ரேட் எல்லாம், அவங்களோட கல்ச்சர் ட்ரெடிஷன் எல்லாமே when it changes to when it changes like இங்கிலீஷோட ட்ரெடிஷன் அண்ட் கல்ச்சராக சேஞ்ச் ஆகும்போது we just demand for their products இல்லையா, we just demand for their, for example if we groom as a ஒரு ஸ்டைலிஷ் பர்சனா, when we turn into ஒரு ஸ்டைலாக ஆகிறோம் அப்படின்னா we'll just groom ourselves by ஒரு மாடர்ன் ட்ரெஸ்ஸோ இல்லைனா வெஸ்டர்ன் அவுட்ஃபிட்ஸ் வந்துட்டு we'll just try இல்லையா. ஸோ that we get from அவங்கள்ட்ட தான் இல்லையா, we get from இங்கிலீஷ் பீப்புள் கிட்ட இருந்து தான் அந்த கல்ச்சர் வந்துட்டு we get இல்லையா. nowadays most of the cultures, our cultures வந்துட்டு கொஞ்சமாக குறைஞ்சிட்டு தான் இருக்குது. we get நம்ம ஃபாரின் கல்ச்சரை கொஞ்சமாக அடாப்ட் பண்ணிட்டு தான் இருக்கோம். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் வாட் த சேஞ்சஸ் that we will expect அப்படின்னு சொல்லி that they will do. European learning would improve the moral character of Indians அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. it would make them truthful and these were this is what the advantages they think. okay and what will be the okay, see, this is what, and there will be large demand to this there will be large demand for the British goods அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்கோம். ஸோ they would create a market for these goods in India அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. and also நம்மளோட they would able to understand European learning இருக்கிறனால they would able to Indians would able to understand the importance of developing the nation's resources. நம்மளோட நேஷனோட ரிசோர்ஸஸ்லாம் எப்படி இம்ப்ரூவ் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்றதெல்லாம் we came to know அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. okay, now coming to the what are the impacts of Wood's dispatch on educational policies. okay, now we have till now we have seen what are the advantages of Wood's dispatch for Britishக்கு என்னெல்லாம் advantages that we have seen till now. Now we are going to see Wood's dispatchனால what will be the advantages, what will be the impacts on educational policies. என்னெல்லாம் educational policies என்னெல்லாம் importance இருக்கும் அப்படின்றது தான் பார்க்க போகிறோம். in this See, first point, education departments were set up to control all matters concerning education. Okay, see, they started setting up separate departments for separate departments for education தேவையான departmentsலாம் they have started separately. And also important changes were brought about within the system of school education to make it more organized. ஒரு organized வச்சுக்கிறதுக்காக they have implemented many changes. And also important measures were taken to establish a system of university education. அதாவது university education வந்து at that time நம்ம British people தான் நம்ம கிட்ட கொண்டு வந்தாங்க. ஓகேவா? and the next one is now moving on to we have seen what are the impacts of Wood's dispatch on education policy பார்த்திருக்கோம், and what are the advantages பார்த்திருக்கோம் Wood's dispatch for British in India பார்த்திருக்கோம், and now opposition to the Anglicist demand for practical education. அதாவது ஆங்கிலிசிஸ்ட்னா யார்? ஓரியன்டல் லேர்னிங்க்கு ஆப்போசிஷனாக இருக்கிறவங்க தான் ஆங்கிலிசிஸ்ட். அந்த ஆங்கிலிசிஸ்ட்டுக்கு தே ஹாவ் அன் அப்போசிஷன். ஃபார் ப்ராக்டிக்கல் லேர்னிங்க்கு தே ஹாவ் அன் அப்போசிஷன். அதாவது கிறிஸ்டின் மிஷனரிஸ் இருக்காங்க இல்லையா, தே அப்போஸ்ட் ஃபார் த அந்த ப்ராக்டிக்கல் எஜுகேஷனை வந்து ஆங்கிலிசிஸ் தான் கொடுக்க முடியும் அப்படின்றத தே ஹாவ் அப்போஸ்ட் கிறிஸ்டின் மிஷனரிஸ். ஓகே, till that அந்த until 1813 வரைக்கும் இங்கிலீஷ் ஈஸ்ட் இந்தியா கம்பெனி வந்து மிஷனரிஸை வந்து அலோவ் பண்ணதே கிடையாது. ஓகேவா? தே டிட் நாட் அலோவ் missionaries is nothing but they will அவங்க வந்து இப்போ கிறிஸ்டின் மிஷனரிஸ் அப்படின்னா they will அந்த கிறிஸ்டின் ரிலீஜியனை வந்து ரொம்ப அந்த கிறிஸ்டின் ரிலீஜியன் வந்து ரொம்ப அவங்க கிறிஸ்டின் ரிலீஜியனுக்காகவே வச்சுருப்பாங்க. ஓகேவா? அதாவது அந்த ரிலீஜியனை பற்றி எல்லாத்துக்கும் பறைசாற்றுறது, எல்லாத்துக்கும் கிறிஸ்டின் ரிலீஜியனை பற்றி சொல்கிறது. ஓகேவா? தட் இஸ் கால் மிஷனரி அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். ஓகே, ஸோ கிறிஸ்டின் எஜுகேஷன் வாஸ் த ஒன்லி மீன்ஸ் டு இம்ப்ரூவ் மொராலிட்டி. கிறிஸ்டின் எஜுகேஷன் தான் அதாவது மொராலிட்டியை வந்து இம்ப்ரூவ் பண்ண முடியும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி ப்ராக்டிக்கல் எஜுகேஷன் ஆங்கிலிசிஸ்டோட ப்ராக்டிக்கல் எஜுகேஷனை வந்து தே வேர் அப்போசிங் இட். ஓகே, அதனால 1830 வரைக்கும் இங்கிலீஷ் ஈஸ்ட் இந்தியா கம்பெனி டிட் நாட் அலோவ் கிறிஸ்டின் மிஷனரிஸ் டு எஸ்டாப்ளிஷ் எனி அவங்களுக்கான இன்ஸ்டியூஷன் எஜுகேஷன் இன்ஸ்டியூஷன் வந்துட்டு எஸ்டாப்ளிஷ் பண்ணுறதுக்கான அலோவ் பண்ணலை. ஆஃப்டர் தட் பிரிட்டிஷ் கண்ட்ரோல் ஏரியாஸ் அந்த ஏரியாஸில் வந்து தே ஹாவன்ட் அலோவ் மிஷனரிஸ் டு ஸ்டார்ட் அண்ட் எஜுகேஷனல் இன்ஸ்டியூஷனை வந்து ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுறதுக்கு விடலை. பட் ஆஃப்டர் தட் with the help of ஒரு ஸ்காட்டிஷ் மிஷனரி கால்ட் அந்த வில்லியம் கேரி அப்படின்ற பர்சன் கூட சேர்ந்து செரம்பூர் வெஸ்ட் பெங்காலில் தே ஹவ் எஸ்டாப்ளிஷ்ட் அ மிஷன் ஒரு எஸ்டாப்ளிஷ்ட் ஒரு காலேஜ் வந்துட்டு தே ஹவ் செட்டப் இன் 1818 அண்ட் ஆல்சோ பிரிண்டிங் ப்ரெஸ் வந்துட்டு 1800 தே ஹவ் ஸ்டார்டட். ஓகே, திஸ் இஸ் வாட் வி ஹவ் சீன். அண்ட் டியூரிங் 19th centuryல மிஷனரி ஸ்கூல்ஸ் வேர் செட்டப் ஆல் ஓவர் த இந்தியாவில் ஃபுல்லாகவே மிஷனரி ஸ்கூல்ஸும் செட்டப் பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சிட்டாங்க. நிறைய ஸ்கூல்ஸ் பார்த்துருப்பீங்களா, கிறிஸ்டின் ஸ்கூல்ஸ், ஹிந்து ஸ்கூல்ஸ் அந்த மாதிரிலாம் பார்த்துருப்பீங்க இல்லையா, தட் இஸ் கால் மிஷனரிஸ். ஓகே, நிறைய கிறிஸ்டின் மிஷனரி ஸ்கூல்ஸ் தட் வி ஹவ் சீன் இல்லையா. ஸோ லைக்வைஸ் த சேம் we have seen half of the chapter in this video. Let's see the remaining part. How did the British reform the educational system in local schools? That we are going and what were the Gandhiji and Tagore views on education system set by the British? That we are going to see in the next part. We'll see you in the next class. Thank you, students.